and welcome to a wonderful day at Loch Ness. A lot of people don't think that the Loch Ness Monster exists, do they? Well, I don't know anything about biology, limnology, history, evolutionary theory, evolutionary biology, paleontology, or archaeology. But I think, what if a dinosaur had gone in the lake? You know, could have lived there for 1 million years, eating mud and that. Could have done, I don't know. Maybe there was a family that, you know, fed it mud and that. And maybe they had a bagpipe. And they'd warn it of danger. And they'd go, "Ooh, Loch Ness Monster, look out! The scientists are coming! And they've got a radar!" I'll just do it in the sodding car. Oh, I promised myself I'd never do one of these. You know, like a video in a car. I hate YouTubers and TikTokers and Instagrammers who do videos in bloody cars. It's just low effort. But the plan was, I mean, we are here at Loch Ness, but we're just not outside, we're in the car. And, you know, the plan was I'd do a great winter top 10 video at Loch Ness, but of course the Scottish weather, well, it was Scottish, and so now it's rainy and awful. Anyway, let's do it. Let's do top 10 winter fragrances here at Loch Ness, but in the safety and comfort of a nice warm car. Number 10 is this. This is Le Mal Le Parfum. I really didn't like this at first. It's still extremely overpowerful and extremely boisterous and big in its presentation, but I've really started to enjoy it, and I enjoy the sugar coating elements of this fragrance, and I think that it is something that I've enjoyed both in autumn and in winter. I think the price point is still a little high for the fragrance, which I'm not too happy about. I think that it should be probably about 15 or 20 quid cheaper than what it is, but no, it's absolutely fine. Number 9 is this. I've been wearing this a lot more recently, especially over these past 3 weeks. This is Frederic Malle's Musk Ravageur. This is dipped in and out of hype over Fragcom. The original hyper of this was a gentleman by the name of Hiro Yokozuna. It stood the test of time with the hype factor. I think even Jeremy's spoken about this, other reviewers have spoken about this. It's a fragrance that is really appreciated and well known in the game. So as it starts out, it's a lot of clove, orange, but with a lot of cocoa at the end. The dry down on this is amazing, and especially if you spray it on a jacket and then the next day you go to that jacket, it's like this hot orange chocolate with a lot of great sexy clove. It's a very, very warming and pleasant fragrance, gets a lot of love, and genuinely still one of the best fragrances, niche fragrances still talked about. I think that yeah, it stood the test of time and does very well. Next one, it's good that we're in Loch Ness right now. This is Angel Share. Of course, I've got my bottle of whiskey here to try and keep me warm. So the thing with this is that this isn't exactly a whiskey fragrance in the same way that Pure Malt or maybe the other Killian fragrance, which I think is single malt. Sexy, sweet, alcohol scent is absolutely amazing. It's so great and so syrupy, and has really, really served me very well this winter. And if you haven't tried this one out and you are a fan of booze, if you're a fan of whiskies like Bunnahabhain, the whole Bunnahabhain range, if you're a fan of that, then you should definitely check out Angel Share. This one is a lovely little space-eyed Bellrides 15, very, very smooth and very mellow whiskey, very, very straightforward whiskey as well. So this is more like Pure Malt, to be honest, but it's very, very nice. Next one is this. This is Sauvage Elixir by Dior. Don't need to talk about this that much because everybody's talked about it and I've talked about it a handful of times. But the thing is, right, sorry, just a little bit wet. So earthy lavender that we all know about, that great sugary designer fragrance smell we all know and love, but it's the lavender. The lavender in here is super impressive. It's super grounded, it's super down to earth. It's a very, very bassy fragrance. It starts from the base and goes up, which is unusual for Sauvage, because Sauvage, their notes go from the top and then glide all the way down with that metallic citrusy smell. But this has flipped the script. This has flipped the idea and the engagement of the way that the notes work. This is a very bass heavy, sweet sugary lavender that's very, very earthy and has really served me well. Got a few compliments over the winter, not many, just one or two, but yeah, really solid fragrance, and if you haven't tried it out, you should. Next one is my scent of the day today. This is Herod by Parfums de Marly. I always hear that this has been reformulated and this isn't as good as it once was, but what can you do? It's amazing, amazing fragrance. It's basically a lot of the 2000s, mid-2000s fragrances like 1 Million and Armani Code put into one fragrance with a great deal of pepper, black pepper. It's the same perfumier, or one of the perfumiers from 1 Million by Paco Rabanne, so it's got that great designer idea, but it's a little bit old school now. I think that Herod is starting to age a little bit, no fault of its own. We all do in the end, gracefully. And so it is starting to get a little bit behind the times, but, you know, a lot of people are complaining that modern designer fragrances are getting more and more and more feminine as time goes on. You know, what some of the 1 Millions are getting more feminine. Jean-Paul Gaultier Scandal Pour Homme, just leaning a little bit more flowery and feminine. So this is definitely a masculine, or classically stereotypical masculine fragrance, with the pepper, with a bit of the vanilla and a bit of smokiness as well. So this is a fantastic, powerful fragrance that you should definitely check out. So next one is going to be maybe a little bit of a shocker. It's fallen a little bit in the rankings for me. It's Tobacco Vanille. It's been my number one several times, but not that I've fallen out of love with it. It's just that this year there were other things that I really, really enjoyed and really, really liked, and I wanted to give a chance. But Tobacco Vanille, it is the OG in many respects with the tobacco and vanilla combination. It will never go out of style. It has spawned so many different fragrances, many of which, well, two of which are higher up in this list this year. So, but it's great. If you don't know this one, I don't know really what to tell you. It is one of the most Christmassy and very, very dessert-like fragrance. Herbal tobacco with a huge amount of vanilla that's also quite chocolatey and dessert-like. Absolutely astonishing. So this one here is the successor. This is Spice Bomb Extreme. I did a video, my last video was why it's the greatest, or probably the greatest winter designer or cold weather designer fragrance of all time. That got a mixed response, as I sort of thought that it would. But yeah, I think that there are better fragrances maybe than this designer-wise, but I think that this has been one of the most captivating winter cold weather fragrances on the designer market, potentially ever. In mainstream consumer markets, it's got the sort of DNA of Tobacco Vanille, but it is rose to prominence. It's usually one of the most searched fragrances on Google. It's been an astonishingly successful fragrance financially. They were talking about discontinuing it a couple of years ago, but they can't discontinue it because it's just such a huge seller and so adored by everybody. Number 3 might not be too much of a surprise. This is Zaharoff's signature Tabac. This is something I went back to Estonia, Tallinn, and it's just the pepper, man. It's the peppery nature of this with the tobacco and vanilla ideals. And this is such a great Christmassy fragrance, but very masculine. I talked about this in the review in the way of, this is a Christmas present. It's nice, it's lovely, it's bubbly, it's let's all enjoy Christmas cakes and pudding and, you know, family and things like that. But this is more of the CEO of Christmas wears this. You know, this is Father Christmas if he got a high-paying job. He was a venture capitalist, and I don't know, he was on Shark Tank or something. This is great for that. So really, really enjoyed this one. This was my Christmas fragrance this year. So number 2 was my number 1 this year, autumn-wise. This is Cacique by Rainier. What a scent. What a scent. Strong, oody, vibrant, sexy, an astonishing tour de force in the cold weather months. Look how much I've used of it, quite a hefty amount, but it's so dark, so brazen. This is probably becoming my favourite Rainier as of right now. I'll always love Kisses Rain, always have a soft spot for Bahik and Oud Rain, but this one, this is Come to Daddy material, absolutely amazing. But my number one winter fragrance might be a surprise to some, might not be to others. It is from the House of Xerjoff. It is 400. Wow. If you've not tried this, might be a bit too feminine for some of you. This is ballsy. This is astonishing. This is so vibrant. I wear this a lot, actually. I even wore this in the autumn, and I'm going to be wearing this into the spring. I think I've used nearly half of it now, but it is Naxos's big brother. This is a jasmine incense stick with tobacco and is just mesmerizing and absolutely wonderful. Those were my top 10 fragrances of winter for 2023. Hope that you're having a good winter, and thank goodness that we're now gliding into, hopefully, some warm weather. That Xerjoff 400 is so powerful, by the way. It's just so delicious, actually. Hope that you've had a great winter, and I'll be seeing a lot more of you. A lot more. Maybe too much of me. I'm really going to go for it this year with Fragrance Apprentice. Mainly because, you know, I loved doing the film last year. That was so great. But it was one of the biggest responsibilities I ever took on. And Fragrance Apprentice is a huge responsibility, but not as insane as that film. And I've missed you all, and I've missed being the Fragrance Apprentice. So you'll be seeing so much more of me in the upcoming months. Tell me what fragrances you've been wearing over the colder seasons. I am Fragrance Apprentice, and I'll see you soon.